My name is Sam Abbott. I am a producer at Compulsion Games, and we worked on a game called Contrast.
What were your goals heading into this game, Sam?
We wanted to create a game that was unique, something very, very different, something artistic and creative, but at the same time a great, fun experience.
What's the storyline in this mobile game world, or in this console experience world, I guess I'd say?
So the story in Contrast is that you play the imaginary friend of a little girl. She's going through some basically pretty rough times at home. You know, dad left a while ago, her mum's mostly absent, and she's just left to fend for herself. And all she has is her imaginary friend, you. And the goal in the game and the storyline in the game is, how do you get mum and dad back together? Sounds like a kid's game, it's kind of not.
How do you feel you're pushing things forward with your game?
We try to tell human stories, I think, is the big part of it. Of course, we have an innovative mechanic, so you can shift in and out of shadow. You can become your shadow at any wall, so you can become a shadow basically whenever you want. But I think we also tell a very human story. It's not a story about getting the big sword and taking out the big, majestic bad guy. That's not us. This is a story about real people, real emotion.
Can you talk about the single-player experience?
Well, the game's entirely single player. It is, it's roughly 3 to 4 hours long, and it's a adventure puzzle game. So you run around in 3D, you solve puzzles by becoming a shadow on the wall or not at certain times. You need to use your shadow shifting powers to solve puzzles, basically.
How have you worked with Nvidia on your game?
Well, Nvidia came to us to talk about Contrast on the Shield a little while ago. And basically, they've looked after and helped us along with creating the game for the Shield. And it's actually pretty impressive getting the game running on something so small. The Shield is a tiny console, and Contrast is a pretty powerful, you know, requires a lot of power. So it's quite impressive.
What have they provided in terms of tech that has helped with development?
Mostly just a lot of expertise. There's actually a guy called Alan Latham on their team who is incredibly good, and he's worked with us a lot trying to make the game run really, really well on the Shield. Actually, yeah, I would have had him on the full team for Contrast back when we launched. That would have been great. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the evolution of Android as a platform?
I think it's fascinating. It's a very different world, I think, to traditional consoles. You have an Android console that can do pretty much everything a modern console can do, and they seem to have a huge range of games available and coming online right now. But it's not like a big console experience. It's something small, something easy. It's great.
What excites you about Android TV?
I'm not really sure. Yeah, I mean, God, this is a really hard one to answer, but what excites me about Android TV is really the simplicity of it all. So for me, I'm a guy that uses Chromecast. I love the fact that the Shield just runs as that. I don't need to change channels. I don't need to do anything. And that kind of simplicity is a very good thing for me. I don't want to piss around. I want to be able to watch TV, play games whenever I want. I can do it all in the Shield.
What impact do you think Nvidia Shield console could have within the gaming ecosystem?
It's a great question. I think somebody that wants something simple, consoles, the bigger consoles, have this kind of perception of hardcoreness, which I don't think is necessary. I think gaming is a very accessible medium, and I think something like the Shield means people can play, people can watch TV, they can do whatever they want on something very, very straightforward. And I think that's what the Shield provides.
What do you see Nvidia Shield console opening up for game developers moving forward in the future?
Well, I think it's great, first and foremost, for people who already work on Android. It's hugely powerful, so it means that you can make games for mobile platforms, and you might be able to push them further on the Shield. And likewise, for people that are interested in doing a mobile or an Android version, but previously do console games, with the Shield, you've got something that's actually powerful enough to look after your game, whereas something like iPads and mobile, it's very hard for those platforms to actually make an interesting, high-quality graphical experience, I think.
So how does your game take advantage of the Shield console's functionality?
The Shield's probably the easiest way to record contrast gameplay. I mean, it's really just a couple of buttons away, which is really, really good. It's very simple, so super easy download from the store. But otherwise, it runs pretty much just as a console does. It's great.
How was it adding controller support to your game?
Very simple. I mean, we already had controller support in one shape or form, but the Shield process was very, very straightforward.
What impact has Tegra X1 technology had on the gameplay experience Shield console users will have?
I think the biggest impact it has is just the amount of power in such a small size. I mean, it's really an incredibly small form factor, which sounds like bollocks, to be honest, but it isn't. It's tiny. You can put it anywhere. I mean, it's quite impressive.